YouTube. My dad is Ryan Style.
Hey, what's up YouTube world? It's Ryan from Ride in Style. And today is the day, guys. This is it. I'm making the trek. It's like 270 some odd miles, about a 4-hour-ish drive to my next location. And if you've already seen the last couple of videos by now, you would have an idea that I am in the process of trading in my 2015 Dodge Charger RT and looking into a 2017 Hellcat. But while I'm on my way there, what I want to do, I mean, I have some time. I thought, you know what, let me try and explain my process. This was quite a process, and I'm a very calculated thinker, because those of you who know me, you know that this was something that I've been looking into for a while. I've been looking into a new Hellcat or a used Hellcat. In fact, when I got the RT that I'm in right now, I had already been researching into the Scat Pack, 392s. I wanted a Hellcat back then, but you know, the timing wasn't right, and you know, and so it's just one of those things where now it feels like the timing is right. So driving here, we might be hearing some road noise, and I was waiting for the road to get a little quieter when it's better paved, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So with that said, I ask that you would not mind the slight camera wobble as I use my other arm, my other hand, to try and stabilize the camera. But what I want to talk about today is the process that I've had. All of you have seen what it took just to get my car out here, and that was kind of a nightmare. Now let me just explain a little bit about my thought process behind that. I could have left my car back at home, but you know, everyone's saying that this is the best place to bring it with the open roads, and you have not been wrong, and this place has not disappointed. I have had so much open road and been able to feel the power of the vehicle for long durations, you know, like never before. And for that, I'm thankful. But going back to the shipping the car here and the added cost that it ended up turning out to be, the only way I could, I guess, articulate that to myself would be to either sell this car and go back home without a car and not have to deal with the whole shipping process back, or trade it up. Trade it in for another Hellcat, I mean another Charger or Hellcat, and then it would almost justify me bringing it here, because if I didn't bring it, then that transaction wouldn't have really been possible, because I'm not trying to finance a Hellcat. I would rather trade this car in, and by me doing so, you know, the Hellcat is already, I mean, almost half paid for. But what I started to do is I started to look online with Auto Trader, Cars.com, Car Gurus, even on Craigslist in the area here, to look for the Hellcats, just to see what was available. And on the Auto Trader and all the other sites, I put it within like a 300, I think I even went out to like a 500-mile radius, and that took me into other states. So I really wasn't trying to drive 500 miles, but you know, if the deal is good, it may be worth the trip. And so I came so close to pulling the trigger on 2 separate Hellcats. It was so interesting, because it's like when it rains, it pours, and it just felt like I found one, it was a 2017, and one was a 2016, but you know, I just couldn't, the timing wasn't right. The loan, the financing, the interest rate, the amount they were going to give me for a trade-in, like it was just, I felt like I would have settled. And so, you know, I didn't get wrapped up in any kind of excitement. Like, this is a very calculated decision for me, and what I didn't want to do was make a mistake. Even now, even now, I'm always erring on the side of caution, and I really do not want to make any kind of mistake. I mean, nobody does. But how do you know you're making a mistake until you've made it? So with that being said, I continued my research, and I ended up finding another Hellcat from a website called Carvana. And that website allows you to basically buy a vehicle completely online. And I thought it would be great for the channel because of the whole process. And I had a car reserved for me. It was a 2016 Hellcat Charger, white. Loved it. However, it had over 45,000 miles on it, and the price was $45,000, which to me was great because after my trade-in and like a down payment, actually no, with just the trade-in, I would have been out the door at around $23,000 for a 2016 Hellcat. It was perfect. And the cool thing I thought about the channel was that the way the transaction would have worked is I would have driven my car down to one of their dealer centers, and the closest one would have been San Antonio, and I actually would have purchased this car out of a vending machine where they give you a coin and you put it in, and it's got like a 6 or 8 story parking structure made of glass, and then when you pull the lever, it's like the structure kind of spins and your car gets like moved into this lift or an elevator or something, and it comes down. Like I can only try to explain it, but I've never seen it. And that was a big appeal to me to go through with this. I was like, if nothing else, I'll get my Hellcat at a really good price and a neat experience at the same time. But I'll be honest with you folks, that that 45 plus mile odometer, it didn't sit well with me. It really didn't. And, you know, so I just felt I had mixed feelings. And I don't want to go into a big purchase like this feeling like it could be a mistake. And then I had another Hellcat lined up, and this one was a 2016, and I had already basically committed to this one. At the same time with the Carvana car, I had committed to another one. It was white, but it had like the double black race stripes going down the middle. Again, it was a 2016, and it only had about little over 11,000 miles on it. And it had the Harman Kardon audio. It had like the red seat belts. You know, there was some upgrades on it as well as the race stripes. But any of those things, I really didn't really care about. I mean, I think the audio system would be nice to have. But aside from that, I didn't need red seat belts. And then the part that almost ruined it for me was I thought that maybe I would, like maybe the black race stripes would grow on me. But the more I kept looking at the photos, and they were nice, it's just that I couldn't. Every angle, you know, you want to have a car where it grabs you from every angle. And this one didn't do it for me. It's like when the side view, when you couldn't see the stripes, to me was better than like the front or back view, then that's kind of an issue. And then it had like the brass monkey wheels on it. And for me personally, I was like, you know what? Yeah, those are things that I could change. I could replace the wheels. But again, I felt like I was just settling. And I called the dealership and everything. We had actually worked out a price. They were going to match my trade-in. It was around $23,100 I was going to get for a trade-in on my car now. Now keep in mind, I bought this car 2 years ago for $22,000. So the fact that 2 years later, I'm getting offered around $1,100 more, to me is a victory. Although, you know, with the things that I'm keeping with the car, you know, the exhaust is staying, the unlocked PCM with the Diablo tuner, the rims, the Hellcat wheels, the tires, the rear valance. I mean, there's a lot of things, even smaller things like the ZL1 add-ons, the Easy Lip front and side spoiler, you know, just little cosmetic things here and there. But with that said, $1,100 more than I paid for it, to me is a victory, especially for a Dodge. However, again, I didn't feel good about this car with the black stripes. The mileage was great. If I could have just replaced the mileage on this car with the body on that car and went through the whole process with the vending machine and everything, I think that would have been my car and I would probably be in it right now. But the fact that having those two cars separate, and I didn't feel good about either of them. So a few days ago, I had to make that fatal phone call and basically cut the deal with both. And the Carvana was very professional. You know, they're like, "Oh, that's no problem. You know, thank you for considering us." The dealership was like, "Wait a minute, I thought we had a deal. You know, we met you where you wanted, and you know, we worked out all these numbers." And they were giving me a hard time. And I had put down a deposit on my credit card, and they almost pressured me to do it, to lock the car, to secure it. That way, if someone else came in, they would say the car is already spoken for. So I put a deposit on my card, and they were giving me a hard time about having to give me back my deposit. So that's the initial part of this journey. I had at one time, well, in two separate occasions, I had two Hellcats, so total of 4 so far. They were all white, and which I'm sure you're not surprised. But after I made that fatal phone call and cut the deal, and then I ended up just back to square one, there was a part of me that just felt like giving up. And what I mean by giving up, it doesn't mean that I'm not happy with the car I have now. It just meant that this wasn't the right time. Let me just stop being so diligent and consistent with my research and maybe just enjoy this car, and then when the time comes, the right deal will come. As I'm saying that to myself, I'm still scrolling through the different websites online, and I find this other car. This other car, I'm not going to tell you exactly the details. We'll see it when I get there. But for whatever reason, it just grabbed me. And it was a lot more expensive than I wanted to pay for. It was it's a 2017, and the price tag on this was well over 50 grand, and I was looking at Hellcats previously that all were in the 40s. But for whatever reason, I just processed this car, and I sat on it, and I just watched it, and I kept looking at the photos, and then I became a stalker. Like, I kept detailing all the photos in my head. I was, like analyzing them all and trying to find fault. But for whatever reason, this car just kept grabbing onto me. And so I just said, you know what, let me just make a phone call and see where it leads. And so that's where I'm at today. I made the phone call. We kind of went back and forth a little bit. The interest rate that I got back at home was spot on. Like, all the interest rates I got here was around 3.9 to over 4%. It went down to like 2% if I wanted to pay the car off in 1 year, but I'm not trying to get like a $4,000 car payment, or whatever it turns out to. So with that being said, I financed back home, and I didn't know how that worked because like my credit score came in, it was at like 841 credit, and I thought that was good credit, but how am I still getting like 4% interest rates? Well, back at home at a credit union, I was able to get a 2.5% for a 5-year, but I ended up going with the 6-year at 2.75%, which is still a lot cheaper than any of these interest rates. So with that being said, the financing worked out. Where I'm at, there's a credit union that was able to notarize documents, forwarded it to my bank back at home, and all this is happening like in real time. Like, this is actually happening. And the last part of it was me having to pay for the shipping to get the car, the check to this dealership by today. Today is Saturday, and I can't make this 4-hour/8-hour round trip drive during the week. It just won't work with my work schedule and everything else. Saturday is the only day I'm able to do this. So, and they're not open on Sundays. So with that being said, I had to pay about, I think it was like 40 or 60 bucks for FedEx to ship this check. It's a paper check to get it delivered to this dealership by today, Saturday. It was guaranteed by 4:30 p.m. Well, before I started filming this video, I just got a call from the dealership that said, hey, your check's here. We're all good to go. So that's where we're at, folks. I am on my way to the dealership. I still have quite a ways to go. I'm excited to see what it looks like. I'm excited to show you folks. This is just a long-winded version of the journey that I've had so far, of a lot of ups and downs. Again, starting back with getting my car shipped here and the process once it got here, and then with all these different Hellcat transactions and possibilities to where I'm at today. So stay tuned. I will pick this up again once I reach the dealership. Here it is, guys. Texas Vehicle Exchange. Let's see what we got. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? This looks like the one. Brass monkey. It's got the black roof, the moon roof. Clearly we're not in Kansas anymore. Here it is, guys. Officially joining the exclusive 6.2 liter supercharged Hellcat Club. What a day today. All right, YouTube world. So as you've seen from the last video, the transaction is complete, and honestly it's still the same day, but it hit me like I'm literally a quarter mile, maybe a half mile down the road from the dealership, and I had to just pull over. Like, I had a surreal moment just now, and it's very difficult to explain. It's very difficult to explain how the pieces move, and just like this moment right here feels very surreal to me, and it's very hard to put it into words. Trying to explain this feeling that I'm having internally and try to verbalize it is like trying to explain the colors of the rainbow to a blind man. You know, it's almost like words aren't able to express it. And I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. I'm overwhelmed with joy, and it was bittersweet. I'm gonna put that out there, that, you know, seeing someone else drive my car up and down just to make sure it was what it needed to be and nothing was wrong with it. I was proud of it in that moment of seeing someone else drive it and getting to see it from a different vantage point. I've always seen my car with me in it or around it, washing it and whatnot. So to see it going up and down the road, I had a proud moment, similar to being a proud dad. I really felt like I did a good job with that car, and it's very difficult to explain this, but it almost felt like that was closure for me. Closure in a way where I've done everything I wanted to the car, short of putting a supercharger under the hood, and I was very happy with the way it turned out. And then the fact that I was able to remove a lot of the factory, remove a lot of the mods that I put in before trading it in, you know, that helped. Because if I just traded it in with all of the things that I did to it, I would feel probably a lot not as excited as I do now, feeling like all that thought and energy that went into customizing my car is gone. But you know what, guys, like, this is a whole new chapter to a whole new book, and I'm actually sitting in a Hellcat. And those of you that remember my video of the dream car versus the fantasy car, like I was explaining to the gentleman down there, it's like, this is a dream. I mean, it's like, the fantasy car for me was a Lamborghini, if you remember, a Lamborghini Aventador, which is so far out there. I may never achieve it. It costs just as much as my house. But the fantasy car is so far out there, but the dream car is attainable. And if you dream big enough, sometimes dreams do come true, and that's what I'm feeling right now. I actually feel like I've had a dream and it's coming true. After all this time and a lot of hard work and sacrifice and dedication, today, folks, I'm sharing this with you to maybe inspire you to say, listen, don't set yourself back. I mean, come on, make financial sound choices. Don't get yourself in a financial grave. It's not worth it. Cars aren't good investments. We've talked about that in a video. But with that being said, I just wanted to share this surreal moment with you folks of my very first 10 minutes in my car. It's a 2017 Hellcat in the octane red, and boy, that color with the brass monkey wheels, it looked a lot better than I anticipated. I'll leave some pictures at the end of this, maybe from the ones that I've seen online, or maybe I'll take a few separate ones. But you know, folks, I can't thank you folks enough. The viewers, the subscribers, the content creators, this community that we've developed, you know, that supports each other. I just want to say thank you all for your support and your viewership and your time. You know, that's something that not too many people say thank you for, and your time is very valuable. So right now, thank you for watching this short video of me explaining to you how surreal this moment is. And there's going to be more videos to come for sure. Stay tuned for that. If you haven't done so already, subscribe. Hit that little red subscribe button. It's free, it doesn't cost you a thing. And stay tuned for more Hellcat content. Leave a like. Thank you for watching. This is Ryan from Riding in Style. Zeke, what is your favorite car?
My favorite car is the fast one that my dad's riding.
Yeah.